Hi Pisces, welcome to AshunasTarot. I went ahead and pre-shuffled and laid out the spread. For all the private readings, those are going to be sent within today and tomorrow, so check your inbox. The readings are processing, so those will be sent out within the next day or so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The wheel is the general energy coming into the reading. So what I'm seeing here is like a shift and a change of events. So if things have been happening in a certain way in your life, like things have started to manifest in a certain way where now you can kind of tell the outcomes and you're kind of like used to it by this time. It's like there's going to be a change and a shift of events that's going to have you questioning things, but in a good way, okay? Because you've been through the darker side of things. You know, you've been through the shadow work, you've been through the ego deaths, through the awakenings, through the lessons, and having to integrate that process, right? Because the awakening itself is only 50% of it. The other 50% is the integration process that comes from the awakening. And that's what guarantees the transformation itself. And so what I feel for this energy with the number 10 for the wheel, is that a lot of you have been going through so many transformations, and so many upgrades and so many shifts and so many level ups in your journey and your transition, that certain things in your life you're like, okay, how come this hasn't changed? If my whole reality has changed in so many different ways, if I've changed in so many different ways, why is it that certain things still manifest in my life in a certain way? You know, like I might have even changed jobs and moved and places and things, and maybe my ideals and my mindset, maybe I just went through this entire ego death and awakening process and transformation. So why is it that certain things in my life haven't changed yet, you know? And what I'm picking up here, it has to do with connections, like relationship dynamics, whether romantic or platonic, or whether like with friends, family, whatever kind of like relationship interaction you have with others. It's like you've been through this entire transformational period where you've changed dramatically, and you're stepping out on the other side of this transformation, right? Like you're stepping on the other side of the tunnel. The wheel has shifted for you, right? Like it's gone in your favor to where now divine is favoring you. And the thing is, like, divine has always favored you, but there's periods in our life where we go through training and preparation to where we get the lessons, you know, and we have to work through that. But what I'm getting here is like the wheel is finally turning because you've gone through the lessons, you've gone through the training, you've gone through the preparation, and you're ready for things to be different in your life. Like you're ready for things to change. It's like so much has changed within you, so much has changed outside of you, but you're ready for certain aspects of your life to change. So let's say that you kind of like, I don't know, like this is just going to be an example, okay? So don't take this at face value, but like extract the lesson if it's applicable to you. But let's say that you like lived in a certain town, right? And you met some people and you kind of got into a relationship, and then you go through a breakup, right? And then your entire life changes. Maybe you move out of state, or you move countries, or you move cities or whatever, and like you start a new life and you recreate yourself and you kind of like invest into your passions, into your project, into your work, and all of a sudden like you're ready for a relationship again, and you open up and you get the same kind of people attracted to you. So you're like, what happened, God? Like, what happened, universe? I just did all this work in myself. And again, it's just an example. This could be the same for people in your life. It could be the same for certain work opportunities, or certain people that you attract into your life, or certain dynamics. Again, apply it to your situation. I'm just giving an example for the people that find this, that resonates. And so it's like, wow, universe, like I've gone through this entire transformational period in my life where I've changed so many things about myself, so many things in how I operate, how I treat myself, how I treat others. I've upgraded, I've leveled up, I've upshifted. And why is it that so and so many years later or months later, it's like I open the doors again and I get the same kind of people or the same kind of situations? Like, what's going on, universe? You know, it's like having that talk with divine, having that talk with your guides. Like, I don't understand. If I've changed all of these things about myself, why is it that I'm still attracting the same kinds of people or the same kinds of situations or dynamics into my life? So it's just like I feel this like energy of like you having this conversation with God or with your guides, with divine, of like, what's going on? If I've become a new person, if I'm choosing to go for the high road, if I'm choosing to be, you know, the person that I envision myself to be, my higher self, you know, if I'm doing the things that I feel like others should do. Like, let's say you treat people with respect and you feel like others should treat you with respect, but they don't do that. It's like it only shows their level of evolution, not yours, you know? So it's like, don't get caught up. Don't get caught up if you kind of like find yourself in that like, in that kind of like standpoint of like, universe, like what's going on? Why am I being dealt these cards when I've transformed and shifted so much? You know, it's like what I feel here, like intuitively, and also channeled, is like you've gone through this intense transformational process where everything has changed. It's like you've done a full 180. For some of you, a full 360, and you've changed. Like you've done the work. You're a different person. You have different ideals. You have a different perspective. Like you have a different way of viewing life and navigating life. You're embodying more and more of your higher self. You're choosing the high road. You're choosing not to engage in any petty stuff. You're choosing not to engage in any drama. And it's like you feel like you've cleared out your path, you know, well enough to where now when you find yourself in new land, you find yourself in this new level in your life. It's like, okay, God, like I'm ready to kind of like open the doors in my life to certain things. But in the past, anytime I've done that, more deception came through. Okay, so why is it that I've changed, but maybe certain aspects of my life haven't? Maybe you've moved cross country, maybe you've moved states, maybe you've changed you've gone through an entire transformation, and yet when you decide to open the door, again, this kind of deception comes through. And so point number one here is that's not a reflection of you and your work, it's a reflection of them and their level. But it's like I picture you telling Divine, like, you know what, like I know that, but I still want to attract better people into my life, you know? I don't want more lessons. Like I've already had these swords stabbed through my back. Like I've already had to go through this transformation process because of what they put me through. And again, at the end of the day, you are collecting the rewards of that because you're a completely transformed, leveled up person compared to the people you used to interact with. So again, the lesson here is like you can't control what others are going to do and how others are going to feel, but you can now sort them. You can now see the red flags from the start, okay? So when you open the doors, it doesn't mean that only light and love people are going to come into your life, or now because you've transformed so much that you're only going to attract people that have only transformed as much as you have. No, because moths are also attracted to a flame, okay? So if you've transformed and you're radiating your new transformation glow, and you're coming out on the other side of this process that you went through, it's like moths are also going to be attracted to that. And so your tactical advantage at this point is that you've already dealt with so much shadiness that you can spot them a mile away, okay? If you even have to ask yourself the question of like, can I trust them? Or how do I feel about this energy? Then you know that's a no, okay? You know those are red flags already. Okay, but also don't allow yourself to project from the past either. Because what I'm seeing here is like you're at the top of the wheel, okay? Because you've gone reverse and you've also gone like counterclockwise. So it's like you've been through the lessons and now you're going through the process of being on the other side of the transformation. So you're standing on top of the wheel. So your tactical advantage is the fact that you've already dealt with so much shadiness. You've already dealt with so many people that kind of have brought that energy of deceit into your life that you can tell them from a mile away. You can tell who they are. So again, when we open the doors, whether to our heart or to our lives, we know that we're going to attract both the good and the bad, okay? Moths are also attracted to the flame. The only tactical advantage is that now you transformed. Now you have all those tools in your toolbox. Now you have that discernment and your sovereignty on your side. So it doesn't mean that you're going to close the doors to everything, both the good and the bad, because then what's the point of living anyways? It's like now you're very aware of who these people are, what their energies look like, what they feel like, what they want out of you. Like you always feel like there's a hidden agenda or something there. And if you don't know in the beginning, just give it a little time. Give it a little time. And then their true essence, their true reasons, their true purpose or intentions are going to show, okay? I just heard this concept, and I'm going to bring this up because I feel the need to with the Seven of Swords energy. There's this online influencer or personality that is very controversial at this time. I'm not going to say any names, but he said one thing that I thought this was very interesting. So he said, find out where the manipulator wants you to go. Okay, like let them speak. Find out where they want you to go and what they want you to do, and then do the opposite. And so he says, he has this concept because you never know when somebody's manipulating. They can do this in a very mental way or in a very emotional way. And manipulators can be anyone in our life, okay? They can be family members, they can be co-workers, bosses, even our partners or significant other, or, you know, friends in our inner circle. So what he said is like, now you're so seasoned, you've transformed, and you've had to deal with so many people like this, that you already know, you already know the red flags. You already know how to tell, because you've been through it. You're seasoned. So what he says is like, now you're able to identify if they're manipulating you. Now you're able to feel what manipulation feels like, whether it's mental or emotional, right? Or even spiritual, okay? Like some people like take it to other extents. And so he says this, he says, find out what the manipulator wants you to do, okay? So it's like, let them speak and just be like, and again, he gave an example where he was like, oh, I agree with you. So what should we do about this, right? And then the manipulator said it straight up. I want you to do this, this, and this, right? And so now he has the tactical advantage because he knows in what direction the manipulator wants him to go. So he goes in the opposite direction of that, or whatever direction he deems is like the best direction to go. But basically the reason he says that is because if you know what the manipulator's outcome is, a lot of times we don't know because they're manipulating, they're trying to cover over something, right? It's like, if we know what their outcome is, what they're trying to convince us of, then we know how to react, right? We know how to reverse engineer the process so that we're not influenced by them, right? So it's like, find out, like identify, oh, they're manipulating, this feels like manipulation. Okay, so what is it that they want? What is the outcome, right? And now once you figure that out, you don't accidentally land where they want you. Does that make sense? Because they're manipulating for a reason. So what I'm trying to say with this energy, and the reason this example even came up, is like, now that you've transformed so much, it's like you wonder why certain people still get attracted to you. It's like, dang, I've done all this transformational work. I expect people at my level, I expect to be authentic with people. Like, why does this shady people still come through? Like it's kind of like being scared to kind of like open the doors to your heart or to your life, to let new relationships or dynamics step through, because you don't know if they're there to teach you a lesson or if they're there to support you and be a benefit to you. But what universe is saying, what divine is saying, is like, you've already went through this transformation, okay? Their deceit and their shadiness doesn't speak of you. It speaks of them and their level of evolution. What you have to your advantage, your tactical advantage, is you've already been through the whole wheel, okay? You've already been through these situations, through these manipulations. So now you're able to tell the red flags. Now you have a tactical advantage because you've already been through it and you've grown out of it, right? So don't block your blessings by closing the door, because you're going to block your blessings and you're going to block everything else. So when you open the doors to your life, or when you open the doors to your heart, it's like, understand that there's both the positive and the negative that are going to come through. But again, you at this time, you're like the gatekeeper, okay? You're the gatekeeper. If you see the first signs of shadiness, you know those are red flags and you know to cut them off, not to play into their games and allow things to unfold, because then the wheel's just going to turn in the reverse and take you right back through the lesson. Does that make sense? So it's never punishment. It's just like, oh, you didn't learn the lesson? All right, we're going to just revisit this really quickly and, but it's like, now you're at the top of the wheel. So your tactical advantage is you've already been through it, so you can see these people a mile away. You can see who the good ones are and who the ones that have an agenda are, okay? So you're at the top of the wheel. You're opening the door up to new connections and relationships to come through to your life, and you're wondering, how can I weed out the ones that are not in my highest alignment, that are going to take me in reverse through another lesson, instead of the ones that are going to take me forward, okay? The ones that are going to bring divine connections into my life, divine unions, whether this is romantic, platonic, business relationships, friendships, good people around you, a good circle, a good inner circle that's going to support you through this new phase of your life. Is like, you want your tribe, you want your people. You're tired of the ones that are not. You're tired of the lessons. It's like, you're ready for your tribe. But again, for your tribe to come in, you still have to open the doors. And opening the doors, again, yes, you're opening the doors to everything. But you, at this point, have the tactical advantage, and you can be the gatekeeper, okay? If you feel this kind of energy of, even if you have to question and ask universe, do they have good intentions for me or not? That's a good enough sign to know that maybe not, okay? And if you don't know right away, give it a little time, and they're going to reveal their agenda to you, okay? So Don't block your blessings and don't close the door to everything, because right now you're at the top of the wheel. Okay, you've transformed completely. You've done a full 180 and a full 360. Okay, and it's time to start opening the doors up to the world. So friendships, connections, relationships, business partnerships. Okay, it is the Two of Cups. It is that divine union coming in. But again, when you open the doors, you open the doors to everything. Okay, so if energies like this come through, don't worry. Don't kind of like, don't tighten up, don't tense up and close the doors. It's like you are the gatekeeper. You choose whether or not you accept them into your reality. If you're the gatekeeper and you spot the shady energy, there's no reason why it should take you in reverse through another lesson, because you're aware of it. You've learned the lesson enough to say no. Does that make sense? Instead of saying, oh, you know what? I don't know. Let me give them the benefit of the doubt. My intuition is probably telling me no, but I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Then they step through and then they take you in the reverse through another lesson. But if you're the gatekeeper and you're like, okay, you know what? I've dealt with enough energies to where I recognize them. I'm going to follow my instincts, my intuition. And this is a red flag. So this person is not coming through, okay? But other connections, other relationships, again, they're going to support you in a very massive way, because you're at a period of your life where you're ready to be cracked wide open, okay? Because you've done all the transformation, so you're stepping in as a new person, as a transformed being. Like, you're completely different now. And so you're going to need more help. Like, you're going to need an entire tribe, your soul family to support you. New friendships, new relationships, new business partnerships. And so for that, it is required to open up the doors, okay? But the tactical advantage is you've already been through the deception, so you can see clearly through the deception, through the lies, and only allow the things that are going to be beneficial to you. So if you're in this place of like wondering, like, how do I not attract these people back into my life? Like, I've transformed so much. Why is it that certain things haven't changed in my life? It's like they have changed, but the lessons are always going to be there. Just in case you forget about them, they're going to take you through another lesson. But again, what I see here is like you're at the top of the wheel. Why? Because you've done the work, so you're able to recognize these things, okay? So you're going to say no to the things that you don't want in your life, okay? Not just because the gate's open doesn't mean that anybody can step through. You are the gatekeeper, okay? So you're going to allow the connections that are going to be beneficial towards you, okay? Connections that you know for a fact that are going to be helpful to you, okay? So this is something that your higher self, your inner guidance is going to guide you to. If you have to ask those questions of like, what is this person's intentions in my life? Or why did they say this? Or why did I feel this kind of like shady energy? Then you know that's a red flag, okay? And so that clarity is going to come through to support you with confidence in this new journey of your life, because you are opening up the doors to the world, if that makes sense. Because you are going into a larger cycle of your life that you're gonna need the support of your tribe, of your soul family, right? Whether these are partnerships, business partnerships, relationships, friendships that are going to support your growth at this time, okay? Because you're stepping up as a new person. You've gone through this entire transformational period and you're ready to be seen, you're ready to do, you're ready to take action, you're ready to win. And so again, that means opening up the doors to the world. But you are at the same time the gatekeeper. You choose what enters your reality and what doesn't. So yeah, follow your intuition, because that massive clarity comes from your discernment and your sovereignty, because you've been through it, okay? So yeah, so trust yourself in this process. Trust yourself in this process because you're ready to open up the doors, okay? There's going to be a lot of profitable, positive connections that are going to be coming through at this time, okay? So it's just a matter of being the gatekeeper, using your discernment and your sovereignty, and connecting to your higher self, connect to your guidance. Because if you feel that energy, like, I don't know why I felt that underhanded energy, and you decide to give them the benefit of the doubt, then that's going to take you through another lesson. But if you trust yourself enough because you've been through it, and allow your confidence in your discernment, in your sovereignty to guide you, then you're going to get these connections that are going to be building you instead of tearing you down or tearing you apart, if that makes sense. Because you're ready to win, okay? You've been through the shadiness, you've been through those cycles, and the time to win is here, and it's now. But there is a opening up the doors, okay? There is a letting yourself be seen, coming out into the world again. But you're much more seasoned and you're much more equipped and prepared to handle it this time. So blessings, Pisces.